From ITN, the ITV Nightly News with Dermot Monahan.
Good evening. They're still recounting the votes in Florida tonight, and still they don't know who the next president of the United States is going to be. With all but 4 of Florida's 67 counties retallied, the Republican George W. Bush was still ahead of Al Gore, though only just. The recount's due to finish any time now, but even that won't be the end of this extraordinary cliffhanger of a contest. Legal challenges are in the air, and there's even talk of a rerun of the election in one Florida district and of other recounts. ITN's James Mates has the latest.
We thought it couldn't get any closer, and then it did. As the recount in Florida comes to an end, the two candidates are no more than a few hundred votes apart, out of 6 million or so. So close that it seems increasingly unlikely there'll be a definitive result anytime soon. And now it is certain that there will be multiple legal challenges too. The chairman of Al Gore's campaign is likely to lead the way to the courts.
It appears that more than 20,000 voters in the Palm Beach County, who in all likelihood thought they were voting for Al Gore, had their votes counted for Pat Buchanan or not counted at all. Because this disenfranchisement of these Floridians is so much larger than the reported gap between Governor Bush and Vice President Gore, we believe this requires the full attention of the courts in Florida.
As the 24-hour news channels kept the nation up to date on the ever-narrowing gap, senior Republicans began a fight back.
One of the options that they seem to be looking at is new elections. Our democratic process calls for a vote on Election Day. It does not call for us to continue voting until someone likes the outcome.
But when the counting's done, it seems likely the courts will take over because of allegations the ballot paper in one Florida county confused some into voting for the wrong candidate. On one side of the sheet was Al Gore's name, on the other the very conservative Pat Buchanan. Voters had to punch a hole through a black spot in the middle, and despite the arrows, it's claimed thousands punched the wrong one. In public, Al Gore is staying well out of the controversy, taking time out to go jogging today and ensuring the cameras were there to see it. But behind the scenes, he is in close contact with his people in Florida. He has a very difficult decision to make. Fight this all the way and risk being seen as a bad loser, or don't fight and guarantee that, despite having won more votes across the country, he doesn't become president. George Bush has remained at home, trying to give the appearance of a president in waiting. He's said to be working on future cabinet appointments. Top of his list, Colin Powell, once America's most senior military officer, now asked to be Secretary of State in a Bush administration.
Looking forward to a quick resolution of...
These are all shots in a sophisticated public relations battle, with both sides conscious of the need for public support at this stage. The Bush team want to look like the rightful winners resisting attack from poor losers. The Gore camp are making their case that their man won the popular vote and the people's choice is being kept out of the White House on a technicality. Amazing as it may seem, 48 hours after the polls closed, the election campaign still isn't over. James Mates, ITN, Texas.
And James Mates is still with the Bush camp, and Robert Moore is with the Gore team. To James Mates first. James, what is the very latest on that count tonight?
Well, the count is 362 votes. That's all there is between them, with Bush in the lead. You remember it was about 1,700 at the end of the original count. 64 out of 67 counties have reported, so it's almost over. And it does seem that Bush will have a very, very small lead, which makes it almost certain they're going to have to wait until all the overseas postal ballots are in